It's Monday morning here on The Big Picture. Thanks for joining us on the 10 TV Plus, or it's 10 TV streaming app now. Rebranded, same product. All right, Stacia Not Ken filling in. Bryn, Caswell still off this week. Stacia, welcome.
I'm so excited to be part of this show on The Big Picture.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I've been behind the scenes with you guys. You can't see from here, but we have some chairs set up for a live studio audience, if you will. And I've sat there and watched you guys in action because I think it's so much fun, and obviously seen in clips later. But as far as being part of the action here, this is my first time. I'm excited.
It's a different experience.
Different
than
vibe.
over there. But, you know, we do talk about a lot of the same things, of course. And we do have a lot to get to today. So coming up, 3 men are currently facing murder charges for what really we could best describe as a murder for hire plot. Then swatting is becoming a growing problem. We've seen schools cancel it. Obviously, the zoo evacuated multiple times last week. So that's coming up at 9:22. Then at 9:30, we've constantly talked about how that whole Marysville US 33 corridor continues to grow. And we're sitting down with the executive director of the Beta District to talk about why it's so important.
I'm excited about this because this is my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm up there in Dublin and kind of right on that Union County line, and excited to hear about what it is about that area that makes it so perfect for these testing opportunities, and seeing kind of why this area is experiencing this kind of growth, because I feel like I'm seeing it from the inside as a member of the neighborhood. But then also why this is an area that works so well for testing opportunities and testing technology. So I'm excited to hear more about this one.
Yeah, it is an area that has just changed immensely. So all of that's coming up in just a few minutes. We also expect a special news conference from Governor Mike DeWine. If that comes in, of course, we'll bring that to you. We don't know what's happening there.
We suspect it could be related to appointing a new attorney general, but there are other things that the governor may be announcing as well. Right. So we will find out about all of that together right here on The Big Picture, if that happens on time.
Yeah. So, how was your weekend? How was Mother's Day?
Oh, it was amazing. I had a great Mother's Day. I've got the two best guys, my husband and then my son, Johnny. He's 7.5. He's almost 8 years old. And so he wrote me sweetest little note, "You're the best mom in the world." And I got to do all the things I wanted to do, which included thrifting, because I'm a thrift store girl.
Love a thrift trip.
Love a thrift. I know we've talked about this. So I dragged them, and they can't say no because it's Mother's Day weekend. They never usually go with me. So this was really exciting for me. And then yesterday we weeded the garden for 2 hours.
Oh, God.
Again, you can't say no to mom on
That's
Mother's
true.
Day. I know
It is
people
your
are
day.
like, you should be relaxing. It's Mother's Day. But I really wanted to get this done. And we did. It was amazing.
Well, and because you were out on assignment on Friday.
Right.
Because I would have loved to have had you here with Tracy and Angela, because you each have, your kids are in different stages of life. Like Johnny's still like young.
He's like little.
Angela's daughter is going through the terrible teens, of course. And then Tracy's son is grown.
Yeah.
So obviously Mother's Day changes as those years go on. So I was like,
so true. Those are three very distinct phases of life for the moms in this building, which is so fun to get to see what's ahead. And then they get a kick out of, oh, I remember the sweet notes like that. So it's really fun. But I was sad to miss out on that conversation because I saw some of the things that they were saying about what you want, what you don't want for Mother's Day. It was a really funny conversation. I laughed.
And it's good because you're just like, oh, yeah. I was like,
what did you get your mom for Mother's Day?
I sent a gift card to a coffee shop she really likes.
Oh, that's so thoughtful.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm 400 some miles away.
Yeah, that's hard.
So, yeah, called her yesterday and talked with her for about an hour and a half on the phone.
Mom could not love anything more than that. Yeah. Right there.
So,
yeah. Do you text your mom? Do you call your mom a lot?
We probably call once a week, but we text every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I call my mom every day. I leave work and I call my mom.
Right.
Every single day.
Yeah. And obviously the shift makes it a little difficult.
That's true too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in bed by 7:30.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like,
very true.
Yeah, and they're an hour behind because they're Central Time.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so working out scheduling with work schedules and whatnot can be a challenge.
You gave her the ultimate gift with that hour and a half phone call yesterday. That is amazing.
Yeah, so
good for you.
Yeah, so it was good. All right, so let's dive in. I see the governor's thing popped up, but the governor is not there yet.
Okay.
So once he walks
we're keeping
in, we'll
an eye
take
on
it.
that.
Yeah, I was like, I can see everything in front of me.
Yes.
But I want to talk about this murder for hire plot. I guess we could call it that.
I don't know how else you would describe it.
I don't either, because it's crazy. So right now, we have 3 men that are facing premeditated aggravated murder charges. It all starts with this 35-year-old man, this Raynon Castro Gill, and then we've got these 2 others. Hold on, I got a photo of them. There we go. Bloop. So it's these 3 men, Raynon Castro Gill, Jose Castro Martinez, and Carlos Figueroa Castro. So how this goes is that the man on the far left there, Raynon Castro Gill, offered, according to Carlos Figueroa Castro, said that Raynon offered these 2 men, the 2 on the left, $3,000 each to shoot a woman. Because this all started Saturday morning over in East Columbus at the Woodland Apartments, about 8:30 in the morning. So officers, when they got there, they found a woman. She'd been shot. She was taken to Mount Carmel East, where she died. So, I mean, we don't usually talk about a lot of shootings and things on this podcast.
Right. Why is it that this one for you? Because when I walked in this morning, you were saying, we've got to talk about this.
Yeah.
What is it about this to you that stands out so much, apart from some of the other shootings or terrible news stories that we have to cover?
And to me, I think it's just because of the oddity of this one, is that we're talking a situation that it's because these 2 were in some sort of relationship, according to all of the police documents that we looked at.
Right, because you've looked heavily at the affidavit.
Yeah, I came in this morning, read over this police affidavit, which is what they fill out to basically arrest you and have you charged. So in there, we know that Raynon Castro Gill had what is described in quotes in this affidavit, a turbulent relationship with the female victim. We don't know her name yet, but we expect to get that. The 3 are being arraigned this morning, currently, right now in Muni Court. But how this gets even weirder is that there's they tried to hide a car. As well.
There were multiple cars involved, changing them out. Yeah.
So like a known informant, which is how police get a lot of information, told a homicide detective that Castro Gill, the man who offered the other 2 $3,000, had arranged to hide a black Honda sedan, a Honda Accord, underneath a tarp over in Reynoldsburg. Well, police went and looked. Well, there was the car. Just had been told. They got the search warrant. Then they arrested the other 2, the Carlos Figueroa Castro and Jose Castro Martinez. Both were detained, taken to CPD, and that's where Carlos Figueroa Castro confessed that is where Raynon had offered them money to kill this woman. Yeah.
This sounds like an episode from a crime show.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a story from a TV or movie show as opposed to a real news story. But reading that affidavit and some of these details are really, I would say, and unique is a strange word to use in this, but this is not the kind of story or crime story that we would cover. It just doesn't.
No. It's so odd, and that's why we're talking about it here, is because there's so many weird nuances to this case that, I mean, we're still early on. This is just the arresting affidavit. We haven't even got to the court process.
Right, because this just happened on Saturday.
Yeah. So, and once they got them in, this is where we found that Figueroa Castro confessed to this and said that yes, he was there when the other man, Jose Castro Martinez, shot the woman, according to this police document. Castro Martinez has denied any involvement, but has kind of, said that, the things he said had happened.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how since there are 3 suspects involved in this, if they start telling on each other, if they start releasing more information, and how that's going to affect the case going forward. Because to your point, the court elements of this case will start happening today.
Yes. So they're being arraigned right now in municipal court, which obviously the severity of this case will almost immediately get bonded over to common pleas. So then we kind of do the whole thing again, do the dance.
Right.
So that's going to be something we certainly watch as this moves on. It's just bonkers. I have no other way to describe it. That it's just really, really strange.
And we're just now, we've barely scratched the surface of what has happened here. So I'm curious to see what else we learn today, but definitely one of those cases that we will be following as we go forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other case, or the other thing we want to talk about a little bit this morning was this deadly apartment fire over in Heath. This was breaking news.
Independent Living Center.
So this was at an independent living home or retirement village, basically the Bill Mitchell retirement facility there, over in Heath. It's a big one too. I mean, it is an expansive
And it looks really
property.
nice.
Yeah. Like this is some scene that our photographer Carl Tudhunter shot this morning, but we know that this was there were 45 units there, so I mean it is an expansive facility. Everybody was evacuated when this went out. Now we do know that one woman is dead. She died from the apartment that was the one that caught fire.
But the chief was saying they were able to contain the flames to that unit, which is really incredible if you think about a congregate setting like this, how quickly those flames could spread. They went in there, they got this taken care of so quickly.
Yeah, this is what he had to say this morning.
They did encounter heavy smoke and fire inside the apartment once they arrived. The other apartments didn't sustain any damage, very little smoke damage to any other part of the building, so they should be able to get back in.
Wow. I mean, that's remarkable because there are so many units. You look at this building and you see how many residents there are obviously in this setting, and the fact that they kept the flames to the one unit where they believe the fire started, that's pretty incredible.
Right. And I mean, we do know that at least 2 of the 4 that were sent over there to the hospital in Newark, they are out. That was according to the property manager there at that facility. Unfortunately, as of right now, those folks are not back in their apartments. They won't be until a lot of this investigation and cleanup's done. Fortunately, we know that there wasn't a lot of damage outside of that unit. It was mainly a couple, maybe some smoke damage to the neighboring units, but other than that,
I mean, just well done to the Heath Fire Department, because moving that quickly in that setting, they obviously knew that they really needed to get in there and take care of things, and they took care of business. Is really amazing, but such a tragedy for anyone to have lost their life in that situation.
Yeah, and this morning they're being taken care of by the church across the street, so at least they had somewhere to go this morning. Unfortunately, it's warmer now. So all right, we have the governor walking in right now. You can see him there. We're going to listen in on what's going on with this.
Well, as you all know, Attorney General David Yost has sent me a letter of resignation effective June 7th at midnight 2026. It is now my responsibility to appoint a person to serve for the remainder of the Attorney General's term. The Attorney General's office is an extremely important job. I first saw that as a young 25-year-old assistant prosecuting attorney in Greene County, and then saw it as I was elected to the prosecutor's job and served in that position as well. So for a little over 6 years, I served as a prosecutor in Greene County. I saw it every single day, the importance of the Attorney General's office. As you know, the Attorney General is in charge of a number of different things. But one of the things he is in charge of, that person is in charge of, is our crime lab at BCI and the BCI investigators. Many days I can remember as a young prosecutor when Sheriff Bradley had a tough case, had a case that needed to be investigated, the crime scene needed to be worked. I can hear him say, call BCI. That is something that happens every single day in Ohio. The work of the Attorney General is absolutely essential to law enforcement throughout the state. The Attorney General also, of course, is the lawyer for the state, which is also a very important position. I had the opportunity to serve 8 years as the Attorney General of the state and had the chance every single day to get even better understanding of the importance of the office. After a great deal of careful consideration is my decision to appoint Andy Wilson as the next Attorney General of the state of Ohio. Andy has a very distinguished career. He's a graduate of Wright State University, University of Dayton School of Law, served in the Ohio National Guard, served as Clark County prosecuting attorney, which is where I first had the opportunity to meet him. When I became governor, I named him as senior advisor for criminal justice matters. In 2022, I named him as director of public safety. Public safety has approximately 4,000 employees, so it is a big office. It has 10 separate divisions. Probably the most prominent is, of course, the Ohio State Highway Patrol, but also includes Homeland Security, the Emergency Management Agency, our Narcotics Intelligence Center that we created, as well as the School Safety Center that we created, and more. There's a total of 10. So I have great confidence that Andy Wilson will do a great job as the Attorney General of the state of Ohio. I base that on my experience in watching him in Clark County, but also frankly on my experience in working with him on a daily basis since I became governor of the state. I might also mention that when...
All right, you're watching live there as Governor Mike DeWine announces who he is appointing as the next Attorney General for the state of Ohio after Dave Yost announced his resignation last week. So just now, the governor announcing Andy Wilson as his appointee for Attorney General. Andy Wilson, known currently as the Department of Public Safety Director. And we do have a team inside the governor's ceremonial office there following this story. So, of course, we're going to hear more from the new Attorney General and as appointee from the governor. And this is Andy Wilson, who's there with his family. You can see as well. This is, again, inside the governor's ceremonial office in the Ohio State House.
Right. So this is not the person who now outgoing AG Dave Yost had suggested. He had suggested somebody who worked under him almost directly. But, Andy Wilson has been, with...
You've interviewed him many times.
I have talked to Andy Wilson a number of times. He's been, with the Department of Public Safety since 2022. So he's done a lot with Ohio State Highway Patrol. That's typically when I run into him, is on those kind of stories. So, we'll have more on that coming up on 10 TV News at noon with Tracy Townsend. She'll have the latest. Obviously, Doug Petcash is there at the State House, so he'll have the latest on that coming up. So coming up next, we have Tyvis Powell joining us from 97.1 The Fan. Happy Monday, Tyvis.
How y'all doing today?
Oh, doing all right. I know you're doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah. You know, this Saturday, well, I mean, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday was great for me. You know, last time y'all see me, I was a little depressed. I was a little down in the dumps. But they answered the call. The Cavaliers finally got me another dub. Yeah. And now there's hope. You know, that's all. As a Cleveland fan, that's all we can ask for is hope. We want hope, and we want to keep wishing and hoping and praying that things get better. And the way that they played Saturday was exactly how I told you they was going to play when I was here Friday. They were going to answer the call. They were going to be in Cleveland. They were going to answer the call. It was going to be a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. You know, I'm going to tell you when I knew that James Harden was going to play better. Yeah. So one of my friends, Mike Lucas, he goes by Mikey McNuggets. He was down on as they was warming up. He was down there. He sends a video to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show group chat, and he goes, take it for what it's worth, but James Harden looks locked in. This is the most serious I've ever seen James Harden. So when he said that, I said, okay, James is going to play well. And obviously, he hit a dagger at the end of the game to end the game. So, you know, if we could continue to get this type of energy.
What do you think the difference was this time?
Well, you know, turnovers. Okay. You know, James Harden, I don't know if he's eating popcorn or something before the game, but the ball a little slippery in his hands, and he keeps turning the ball over. So he's cut that down. Obviously, guys were locked in. They were playing more physically. They had more passion. Now, Detroit made a late push and tied the game up in the fourth quarter, but James Harden he did what he needed to do. He got that ISO, and his shots were finally falling. Donovan was much more efficient. I mean, the games before, he was shooting the ball like 30 times but getting like 30 points. This time he had 30 with like 20-something shots. So to me, they're more efficient. They're banging better in the paint. If they could continue to do that and keep getting some guys off the bench that make some points, they should be able to at least tie this thing up and go back to Detroit, which that's where things get interesting.
Right, because, I mean, what we saw last week, those games were not so great.
Well, they start off so bad when they on the road for whatever reason. They go down by like 15 points in the first quarter.
Is it the difference of not having the home crowd there to support? I don't
know. I don't know, because if you look at this game that they played Saturday, it was the opposite. They started off and they were the aggressors. They went up early and they didn't have to play catch up. And it's like every team in the NBA, for some odd reason, they like hold energy to have like a late push at the end. But like the Cavs was down so bad that they couldn't catch all the way up. So I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, you can only come back from so far.
Exactly. So the Cavs, if they continue to go out there and be aggressive, this is a pivotal game. If they lose this game, the series is over. If they go down 3-1 and they go back to Detroit 3-1, it's probably done. So they have to find a way to win this game. I think they will, but they have to win a game on the road. This is the second round of the playoffs, and they are yet to win a road game. So at some point, Detroit's got the home field advantage in this one, because if it goes 7, it's going to be in Detroit. If you want to win the series, you're going to have to win a game in Detroit.
All right. Got to see what's going on there.
But you got hope, though. You have hope.
There's a ton of hope. The sad thing about this is when you look at the teams, the Cavs are the better team. They have the better talent.
Do they know it?
They act like they don't. They need to if they don't know, they better ask somebody. Because y'all going to be, listen, if y'all get eliminated, y'all feel free to come down to Columbus and pull a chair up. We can interview you every day on the Big Picture, and you can come and just give us your analysis of the playoffs. But no, I think that they're starting to figure that out. Like, all right, let's lock in. And the thing about it is, I keep telling everybody, you fired JB Bickerstaff. JB, the coach for Detroit, was your coach just 2 years ago. Like that, you don't want that guy to send you home.
He's got the inside.
Exactly, and he's using it to his advantage. And again, there's guys for Detroit that's playing above their skis. I mean, Tobias Harris, I mean, he's been playing really well. I think he's had 20-point games in like 7 straight games. Before the regular season, Tobias Harris never even had back-to-back 20-point games. So you got that going on. Duncan Robinson is shooting the ball really well. So those two guys in particular have been playing really well. At some point, hopefully reality sets back in and they don't be on fire as they are.
I mean, if they're hitting their stride now, that's what you want for your team. It's hitting the stride now.
Yeah, like I say, tonight, this is kind of one of those do or die games. They got to find a way to get this one done and go back to Detroit.
Right. Let them know. Let them know they're the better team.
Listen, you preaching to the choir.
All right, time is 8. Thanks for coming in. Coming up next, we are talking the growing problem of swatting in Central Ohio. We'll be right back. Jay Fox, welcome in on this Monday. So,
Good morning.
Good morning. Swatting has been a growing issue in Central Ohio. Obviously, we had the zoo evacuated last week. We've had that school district in Ross County evacuated time and time again already this year. It is a problem that it doesn't matter where you are. It has certainly affected people somehow, somewhere, sometime. So I guess the big thing is, people who don't know about it, it'd be hard not to know about it by now. But for folks who don't, what is it?
Well, it's not something that you take a fly swatter to and solve, although that would be the easy answer. The Federal Bureau of Investigation defines swatting as criminal harassment. It's a tactic where somebody makes a deceptive call to dispatch, in this case it would be 911, so that they would then send out armed law enforcement teams to a specific location. Now, sometimes what they do is through technology, they spoof a phone number so that the 911 system thinks that it is the location that they're going to that's actually calling. So imagine if the Columbus Police Department gets a call from the Columbus Zoo, thinking it's the Columbus Zoo, but it's not really the Columbus Zoo. That's part of the problem. This involves things like bomb threats, active shooters, but it could also involve a hostage situation. And the issue is that authorities respond at the highest level. So that means specialized units like SWAT teams who are prepared for violent confrontation.
Because they have to treat it like it's
They have
real. You don't know that this is a swatting call until you get on scene.
That is correct.
And investigate.
You have no idea.
And there's been a lot. I mean, it's an incredible number for the day of the year we're in.
Estimates suggest as many as 100 since the 1st of January in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, and when we talk about 100, we're only at day 131.
Correct.
So,
That's like almost one a day.
Right.
That's enough of that.
Yeah, and we've seen them all over, as we've talked about. This does come at a cost. I mean, this is not we have to send in, basically the full department every time something
That's exactly
to the
right.
severity comes at.
So local sheriffs, police chiefs, and the FBI say that a residential swatting could cost as much as $25,000. When you get into the question of the zoos and the schools, it could cost more than $75,000.
Every time?
Yeah, because the personnel cost $125 to $150 an hour per officer. And that adds up real fast. And if it goes on and on, now you're talking overtime.
And I mean, is there really any goal out of this besides just causing chaos?
Well, part of it's causing chaos. Part of it is disrupting the normal flow of the day, like a school disruption. But then if we're going to get in the weeds, it's a tactical, terroristic possibility. So imagine, and I hate to imagine, but imagine that you're a terrorist and you want to watch how law enforcement responds. And if you are sending multiple hoaxes at the same exact time, you are stretching law enforcement very thin. So if there's a real bomb threat in a location not part of the hoax, you'll know where to send it. That's
so
disturbing.
Yeah. Well, and what do we know about the people who are conducting these calls? Because I feel like initially when we were hearing schools being swatted, there was a maybe a vibe out there that it was a kid who didn't want to take a test or something like that. This is much more even insidious than that.
It is. It goes from the low of the school student who doesn't want to take his test that day to somebody who has political frustrations with one party or another, somebody that is trying to make a statement, whether it be about the war in Iran or public policy or gas prices. It's a cry for help is what it is.
But I feel like we don't often hear about these cases being prosecuted. Why do you think that is? What can be done about this?
They have to tighten the rules. I mean, right now the base penalty, what it is a 4th degree felony, which means 18 months in prison and a fine of $5,000 per count that you're charged. But sometimes people don't think that's enough. So it gets more and more aggressive as the situation continues. If somebody's injured, the jail time and the price goes up.
Okay.
If somebody dies, the jail time and the price goes up to the point where it could be life in prison or even the death penalty. But if they strengthen the law and they start verifying the calls, which means having the dispatcher call back the Columbus Zoo and say, did you actually call? Is there an active shooter at the zoo? It's a verification system. And if you can't do that, then you've got to send out a first unit team before you send out the very expensive SWAT team. But again, the other side of that coin is
what if?
What if? You know, we're on the clock.
That's right.
What if something bad happens?
Right. All right.
So this is a big issue.
That's really scary.
Jay Fox, thanks so much for coming in.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, well, actually coming up in 12 minutes, we're talking the 50th Utica Ice Cream Festival with Velvet Ice Cream. But then coming up immediately next, we are talking with Doug McAuliffe, the Executive Director of the Beta District. We are talking growth in Central Ohio. Stay with us. Welcome back on your Monday at 9:33. We are joined by Doug McAuliffe, the Executive Director of the Beta District. Doug, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So go ahead and tell us, this is an area that we have seen immense growth. That corridor there between, basically Dublin and the Marysville area. What is the Beta District?
Think of the Beta District as an innovation hub, and there's innovation hubs all around the country and all around the world, and this particular one is focused on mobility, smart mobility. And before there was a Beta District, there was an automotive industry there on Highway 33 between City of Dublin, Union County, and Marysville. And all of those companies that are part of that supply chain are ones that we can tap for the innovation that they've been doing all the time that maybe we would have missed if we didn't have something like the Beta District that was capturing it.
What makes that particular area there between Dublin and Marysville such a great logistical place for this?
There's a great big automaker there. Mm-hmm. And that automaker has tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 suppliers all along Industrial Parkway. Many engineers, consulting companies, logistics companies, all focused and headquartered there in that region. We want to take advantage of those and connect them to each other, but that's what makes the area so valuable. You also have the Transportation Research Center that's in East Liberty, also on Highway 33. You have the Ohio State University Center for Automotive Research. All of these institutions and organizations are already situated in that area, and so growth is almost inevitable.
And, we have, as you mentioned, it is inevitable. And, we've seen communities like Dublin, which, 20 years ago was a small community. Marysville being that extra urban, some people call it that extra urban suburb of Columbus. It's removed, but it's still a community that commutes in a lot. What is the drive there? Why is industry investing so heavily in these Union County communities like that far northwest part of Dublin and also just Marysville as a whole?
Well, these communities have been very good at really staying connected with the companies that are there. They're very business friendly. They spend a lot of time organizing things so that those companies are doing quite well. The economic development, the planning departments of those communities are very, very strong. So if I was a company, I would move there if I had anything to do with automotive and those kinds of things. But, as I said, growth is inevitable. They want to be planning that type of growth, and the kind of coordination that you see between those communities, which have formed a council of governments, by the way, makes growth for businesses and universities and hospital systems and nonprofits that much more efficient.
When we talk about smart mobility and that technology, that's not just technology that benefits this area of Dublin and Marysville. This is an area of growth really globally.
Yeah, mobility in general is changing. It is evolving. And when you think of mobility, it's moving people or things wherever they're moving. And that's going to include pedestrians. It includes safety, transit, transportation systems, and consumer vehicles. And so all of those things continue to evolve with the potential for self-driving cars, with AI being in our cars now. And the question becomes, where is the center of the universe when it comes to design and testing and experimentation on those things? And we want to plant a flag. It doesn't happen just naturally. You have to raise your hand and say, we'll do it here.
Yeah, and Central Ohio really has tried to claim that, whether it becomes, the future of transportation and automation. And also, we've talked time and time again about the Intel plant. We want to become this hub of the country for new technology innovation.
That's why I think it's so interesting, because Intel is on the other side of town, and it's not just not the only area of growth, which is what's so important.
Yeah, this huge amount of growth off to that side. We've got stuff popping up in Pickaway County. It is everywhere. So to continue to talk about this, we've got Ohio's Future of Mobility Conference. That's coming up later this year in August, I think the 19th. So what's going on with that? What's so exciting to bring that here?
So this is our second year of that conference, and it's pretty bold to call yourself Ohio's Future of Mobility Conference, but we are so bold. We gather in people from universities, thinkers from around the country. Last year we brought in people from the Netherlands, and we hope to have that international audience where people are coming to Ohio. You should think of Ohio for smart mobility. You should think of it for air mobility, for space, for all of these things. So we have to have a conference that showcases the companies and the thinkers and the innovators that are doing that. And we're drawing people from around the country. So we have a theme from concept to connected, and we're excited about how August is shaping up.
Right. When we look at the growth that's happening here, what are you most excited about?
I'm excited about the technology and people beginning to think about Ohio differently. I think we've been thought of just as agriculture and manufacturing, and that's good, but we can enhance that.
All right.
I like that.
Yes, absolutely. Doug McCall, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, coming up next, we are talking with Velvet Ice Cream. The 50th Utica Ice Cream Festival is coming up. So that's right around the corner. We're excited to have them. They are in 2 minutes. Welcome back on this Monday. Stacia, do you like ice cream?
Yes.
Same.
I think I would say it's my favorite food.
Oh, I will never turn down ice cream.
Exactly.
Which is why I've been fighting the same 5 pounds on and off for years.
But what a way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So coming up is the 50th annual Utica Ice Cream Festival. And with that being said, right now we are joined by Velvet Ice Cream this morning. So tell us about a little bit about Velvet Ice Cream's history and this wonderful ice cream festival there. Hold on. I'm actually having a little trouble with your audio connection here. Can't quite hear you. I know I could earlier, so if I could have you guys step out and then come back in, we'll check back in with you in a moment. Yeah, so we'll have you log out of this call and then log right back in and see if that fixes the audio problem. But we'll be right back. I've got you now. All right, welcome back to the Big Picture. I think we've got our audio issues figured out right now. We are joined by Luconda Dager with Velvet Ice Cream. Sorry to have cut you off, but I think we've got it all figured out. Tell us a little bit about Velvet Ice Cream's, past and also this fantastic ice cream festival you got coming up.
Well, thank you for having me. I am proud to be a part of the fourth generation Luconda Dager Velvet Ice Cream. My great-grandfather came over from Lebanon in the early 1900s and started Velvet Ice Cream in 1914. So we're celebrating our 112th year this year. And we're also celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Utica Ice Cream Festival. So we're so excited to bring thousands of people out here to Utica to enjoy ice cream. What better dessert is there? It's the all-American dessert.
It's so true. Everybody loves ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, and I think part of that fun is the fact that there are so many varieties, so many flavors. I have to ask you, Luconda, I mean, you are the president of an ice cream company. I've never thought about this as a title before. This has got to be the coolest title in the history of all business cards that you could hand out. Like, what do you love about this role?
Thank you. First and foremost, I love continuing the family legacy. And I get to work with my sister, Joanne, every day. I get to work with my father, Joe, every day. He's 86 and he still comes to the office every day. So I love being part of the family business, but also producing an ice cream, producing a sweet treat that everybody loves and adores is heartwarming. And it's a lot of fun. We have to remember, it's a tough business. It's very competitive, but we have to remember we're celebrating fun. We're scooping out fun.
It's so true, because you have great memories with ice cream. And I think that's part of what makes it so good, because when you're having ice cream, you're probably having a really good day, whatever the
you're
favorite.
Always smiling.
Yes, exactly. Collin, what's your favorite ice cream?
Oh, it really depends on the mood. I'm a mint chip person.
Ooh,
Love
yes.
anything mint.
Yeah, I'm for sure there. I love a Neapolitan. My son, who's 7.5, he's strictly chocolate. So, Luconda, you have probably tried all of the ice creams. What is your favorite?
I'm like you. I'm a chocolate fan. Love our triple chocolate fudge, which you can find in our 48-ounce container at the grocery.
So, tell me a little bit about, this is a huge staple here in Ohio, and you all are Utica, Knox County. And it's a small town. So, talk to me about the decision of why it's so important to be where it all started, stay there, and then obviously celebrate 50 years with this ice cream festival.
Utica, we're very fortunate. Utica falls in between two counties. We're part of Licking County and Knox County, and we have our loyalists here in this area. We have been blessed with the Licking County and Knox County folks are very loyal to our product. And, I was raised in a family that was about giving back, and being a part of the community just means a lot to us because, we have so many consumers that have given to us all these years, the last 112 years. So the festival was started by the Sertoma Club back 50 years ago. They came to my dad and my uncle and said they wanted to do one big fundraiser. So that's how the Utica Ice Cream Festival got started. And today we still collaborate with the Sertoma Club, and there are several thousands of dollars that go right back to the community.
That's great to know that there's that component of it as well, giving back. So we know this festival is coming up we have May 23rd through 25th. So we're looking at Memorial Day weekend happening there. The Utica Ice Cream Festival running from 11 to 7 on Saturday, Sunday, and then on Monday as well at 11324 Mount Vernon Road. What are you most excited about? Are you debuting any new flavors or something that people can look forward to in addition to their classics from chocolate and beyond?
Yeah, we'll have all the core flavors, the vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. This is one of our core flavors. It's a blueberry pie. This is a new flavor. Excuse me. This is a new flavor, blueberry pie. So we'll be debuting this. But the whole parade or the whole festival starts out with a parade on Saturday morning. We kind of jumpstart the whole festival that morning, and then we'll just come down here to the grounds in Utica. And we have live entertainment. Sunday is the Hot Rod Car Show. We'll get about 300 old-fashioned cars on our property here. And then all 3 days we have the Performance Ohio Dog Show and 60 different crafts vendors that'll be here. I mean, it's just live entertainment. It's just a whole 3 days of a fun old-fashioned festival.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
And making more fun memories with our
And
favorite
I want to try
food.
that blueberry ice cream. As I said,
Good one.
I will never turn down ice cream. It is my guilty pleasure. Actually, I'm not even guilty about it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not apologizing for all the ice cream I'm going to eat.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we let you go? Anything important that we need to know about this festival upcoming?
Our listeners can, find everything on our website, velveticecream.com. The whole agenda for all 3 days is there, and they can find all the details. And come out and see us at the Old Mill. The Old Mill's open 6 days a week. Yeah,
I'll be
come
there.
and see us.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Big Picture. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh.
The ice cream
Sounds
festival.
So good. Yeah,
I know.
What is a better festival?
So here we have a lot of festivals in Central Ohio. As we all know, it's one of the really fun things about summers. There's a festival for everything. But I feel like the ice cream festival is the one thing everybody can agree on because you're going to find a flavor that's for you. And whether it's the new blueberry or if it's a mint chocolate chip or just a classic chocolate, this is a place where the whole family... We're talking about an ice cream festival. There's literally something for everyone there.
You will find something.
You will find something.
And I mean, that area of, Knox County, I love. I mean, it's a pretty part of the state. I mean, you've got the beautiful rolling hills. So it's one of those of get your ice cream, take a drive.
Yes. Oh, I like this plan. This is good. Yeah.
Because, have you spent any time up toward Kenyon College?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So once you get up there, it's a little north of Utica. But yeah, there's some really pretty parts of Knox County.
I'm a picky eater. My son is pickier than me, but we can all agree on ice cream.
Yeah. Well, that's good. All right. So we're going to take another break. Coming back, we got a few things to talk about to wrap it all up, including some trending stories.
We have some trending stories, and that'll come up because, we've been talking about Nancy Guthrie, who's been missing for approximately 100 days now. And coming off of Mother's Day, Savannah Guthrie with the Today Show had a really beautiful and kind of tragic message. We're going to talk more about that when we come back, as well as some other headlines.
Welcome back. A little bit to wrap up the hour here on the Big Picture Podcast. So, a lot of people have been following what is going on with the cruise ship that is now docked in the Spanish Canary Islands, that a number of people have come down with the hantavirus, which is not common. But 17 of these people on board there were U.S. citizens, and well, I guess it wasn't even last night. It was early this morning. They were flown in on a specially outfitted cargo plane into Epley Field, which is the big airport in Omaha, Nebraska. Only one of the there's 2 passengers that are asymptomatic, not showing signs. One tested positive, will go to the special biocontainment unit. Now, how much do you know about Omaha, Nebraska?
I don't. So do you know why this is the area they're going?
Yeah. So really, it's fascinating because we saw this come into play in 2020 with the coronavirus epidemic. And then was it 2014 or 2016 that we had the Ebola outbreak? So this special hospital there at the University of Nebraska hospital there in Omaha has a very special biocontainment unit. It is the only federally funded one in the country.
Because you would think for a story like this that if you're flying people in, it would be somewhere along the coast.
Right.
Because it feels like flying them all the way into Nebraska in the center part of the country that somehow they would be exposing more people, or it's just farther to travel. But so they have a specialized unit there.
Yes, and it is fascinating. It is a federally funded quarantine unit, the only one, once again, in the United States. So they put these people in there. It's specially pressurized, so none of that contaminated air gets out to where it's not supposed to.
Wow.
It is... it's impressive.
Yeah.
So that's where they're going to stay, including, and like the biocontainment where the folks who have tested positive, they will stay in this special section. And then we've got the whole quarantine ward that's set up.
The asymptomatic stuff, that's, I think, what is the scariest part. Because this is one of those diseases that takes a while or can take a while to show up with symptoms. And so you may be carrying the virus and not even know it.
Right.
For, is it up to 2 weeks?
I think so.
Yeah,
Something
I think
like
that's
that.
what I'd read. Yeah. Wow. So they're flying them into Nebraska, the American citizens who were part
the
of
American
this.
citizens, they got into Omaha about 2:30 local time this morning. So, that's going on. Cleveland, they get a warship.
Yes.
That was this weekend.
This is exciting.
It docked Saturday. It's the first or second time Cleveland's had a naval ship named after it.
USS Cleveland.
The USS Cleveland.
That's really exciting. So this was the commissioning ceremony marking the first time a U.S. warship is commissioned in Ohio. It's a very big deal because that is not something that we see here in Ohio. So that was really cute, really cool. And so it was a community day there to celebrate the close ties of Ohio with this ship as it moves into its mission, and kind of stopping in Cleveland to be commissioned, but to start its journey. Yeah.
And it's also got Ohio connections. The steel came from Ohio. Sherwin-Williams, obviously the paint company, Lincoln Electric. There's a lot of Ohio involvement in there. So it is a special thing. It's expected to leave May 19th.
It's going to be here for a few days. So if you want to check that out, I think that'll be
Lake
really
Erie.
cool to see. Yeah. And Nancy Guthrie missing approximately for 100 days now. So she is the mom of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, who was reported missing on February 1st. And in those first few weeks, there was just, you couldn't get away from the headlines. They were everywhere. And now that's really kind of fallen away. And I mean, you've just got to thank for Mother's Day for Savannah Guthrie. What a tough day that was. And because they still don't know what happened to her mom. So she posted yesterday, Savannah Guthrie did, for her mom, for Mother's Day. We miss you with every breath. We will never stop looking for you. We will never be at peace until we find you. And it's just heartbreaking.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, you don't mess with people's parents.
I know. And still so much mystery surrounding her disappearance and not really understanding what led up to it, what caused it. We don't know. They've never found her. There have been no clues. And you just think in this day and age, how did someone not see something?
How does somebody not know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Savannah also using this opportunity to put out a call for help, just saying, please, someone out there knows something. please reach out. And she posted some information on how people could help, any tips. I mean, there's going to be that one tip that's going to lead to some resolution in this case. And at this point, you just wonder what that will be.
All she and her siblings want is just some sort of closure.
Resolution, yes.
Because
exactly.
it's been so long.
Yeah.
And, it's...
To not have any answers.
Yeah. And you can watch her and see that it's not okay.
Yeah.
So
even though she's quote unquote back to work, she's certainly not back to normal.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow at 9. Have a great day.